She's gonna be so happy when she sees the ring, but if she finds out that it's lab grown, is she gonna be all upset by it? That is part of our bonus content this week. Stuff you won't hear on The Big Show, thebertshow.com/bonusbs.
All right, so this Bert Show listener has been on a break for 2 weeks with her man, and she wanted to communicate, but she wanted him to make the first move. So what happened over the weekend? Did he finally reach out to her, or did she finally make the first move? So what had happened was she was feeling overwhelmed. There was a lot of stuff going on in her life, and she needed support. She wasn't really feeling supported from him. So she's like, you know what? Let's just take a break, take a breather. I can figure some stuff out, and then, we'll reconvene. She said she wanted a break, but he knew that she was struggling and she needed support because she voiced that to him. But for 2 weeks, she heard nothing.
Did she say to him, though, let's not communicate for a couple of weeks? Never said that.
They're just on a break. Let's take a break. It wasn't like, if those parameters had been set up, well, then she obviously can't complain about anything. They're just on a break. He hasn't reached out in 2 weeks. But she wanted him to want to reach out to check in. And, it didn't have to be anything major. Just a, hey, thinking about you. Hope you're doing okay.
She wanted a break. She got her break and then was complaining about the way that he was breaking.
Correct.
Okay.
Exactly.
Exactly that.
And it actually, this break ended up making her life worse, and she was even more overwhelmed than she was before. So she had a decision to make over the weekend. Was she going to reach out to him? Maybe he reached out to her. We have to figure out if anything's happened since.
I think I even said on Friday, this one doesn't make a whole bunch of sense unless he really doesn't want to be back with her at all. And I've always felt like these breaks, as I said Friday, are the foreplay to a break. Just that, look, if they didn't communicate that they weren't going to talk to each other for 2 weeks, then he should have at least reached out and said, hey, I know you need space right now. Just want to let you know I'm thinking about you. Mm-hmm. That would have been the decent thing to do if he really wanted to get back with her.
Yeah.
So the fact that he hasn't mentioned anything at all, I think speaks volumes, but I guess we'll find out because Mo has the email.
As of yesterday, he still hadn't reached out. I thought about texting or calling, but I felt this conversation needed to be face-to-face. He's a football dude in multiple fantasy football leagues, so I knew he'd be home on Sunday watching games. I drove over to his house, and as expected, his car was there. But so was somebody else's. One I had never seen before. My heart started pounding out of my chest, and my legs felt like jello. The worst-case scenario started playing out in my head. As I got to the door, I thought about knocking, but something in my gut said, just walk in. I slowly opened the door and walked in and could hear the TV going. As I made my way towards the back of the house where we watched TV, I could see him sitting on the couch. And a woman snuggled up next to him.
They're on a break!
They are.
They're on a break!
I'm shocked she went in. I would have went home.
Yes.
Sometimes you get... I thought I would go home too, but I didn't. Anyway, go ahead.
At that moment, I had a decision to make. I could turn around and walk out and never speak to him again, or I could confront him. Confrontation isn't my style, but it was that day.
I bet.
I loudly said, who's winning?
Oh, damn. Well played. Sounds like he is.
Both their heads whipped around, and he looked like he saw a ghost.
Oh, damn.
I looked at her and said, hi, I'm Ash, Bryce's girlfriend. Nice to meet you. She awkwardly shook my hand, then looked at him. He then said all I needed to hear. No, she's my ex-girlfriend. I replied, good to know, and proceeded to walk out the door. He's been blowing up my phone since, but I haven't bothered to answer any of his calls. I don't care if we were on a break. We were together 2 years. It shouldn't take less than 2 weeks to hop into bed with another woman. We were supposed to be working on us. Since us is over, I've chosen to focus on work and me. For any other couples out there contemplating taking a break, make sure you communicate exactly what that means for both of you.
Amen.
I still think a break can be beneficial if parameters are set and the other person isn't a cheating a-hole. And yes, it counts as cheating.
But they were on a break.
I don't know that Man,
I think it does.
Come on, it totally does.
That's cheating, dude.
I don't
break
think
it-
it's cheating either.
You don't think it's cheating?
I don't know.
They didn't break up. They were just taking a breather.
here we go again.
I know, this is
here we
this
go
is the
again.
debate that never
Now
ends.
we're back to the friends thing. Okay.
I guess the parameters are important.
Yes.
You're right. But at the end of the day, I think if you're like, we're on a break as a breather, and then that quickly you jump into bed with somebody else, you're not committed to the relationship.
Right.
Whether or not you label it as cheating,
100%.
you don't want it.
That's fair.
100%. But is it cheating?
Yes.
I
don't think it's cheating.
man.
That's the break. That's what the break is for.
It needs to be said. She says right here, like, if anybody's going to go on a break, be sure you got the rules of a break because there's some gray area here.
So if
Well,
no
if it's not
parameters
cheating,
are
what
set-
is it? Because it ain't right.
No, it's definitely not right. and I completely agree with what Cass said as far as then if you go out there and be with somebody else, then obviously you're not focused on fixing the relationship. But I just don't know that it's cheating if you say, if someone says I need a break, I need some time away, do whatever you got to do, I'm going to do whatever I got to do. I don't think that's cheating.
Here's why I'm putting this on him, okay? And I'm only using me as the example because when it came to breaking up with people, I was a complete coward, right? So he took advantage of this break. He wanted out of the relationship, but didn't have the balls to say this relationship is over. So he took the easy way out when she said, let's go on a break. And he's like, whoo, okay, I get 2 weeks away from her before we got to talk about this again. So he ends up hooking up. I don't know if he had the intention of getting back with her or not, but if you're hooking up after 2 years and you're only like 2 days into this break, you weren't coming back.
No.
So he was a coward for not breaking up with her in the first place when she suggested it.
I agree, 100%.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, so he's not a cheater. He's just a coward.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. There you go.
The Bert Show.